I do remember my first child. I felt my baby kick for the first time when I was doing a link on air. And I like stopped because I was like, what just happened? I think as a society, and especially an African society, we've always protected the vulnerable in our society. We've always protected. And I feel like this is changing, and that would be the scariest thing. We protected women, we protected children, we protected the elderly, we protected anybody who needed a helping hand. We were always there for each other. It was truly a village. It's very easy to say, you can do it. But what if you can't? What if where you are, you don't have the tools to do it, you know? That would be like a slap in the face for somebody. Whereas rather, you can say you can do it to someone, you're like, that's all you needed. You just needed a shove to hear that you can do it. So my tagline would be, stay resilient as much as possible.
Good afternoon, Kui.
Hi, Immaculate.
It's so lovely to have you here today,
Thank
and
you.
I'm so humbled and honored to be having this interview with you. So I know you as Kui Kabala, but from your own words, who is Kui? Considering you also wear so many hats, but how would you describe yourself?
Wow. Okay. I would describe myself as, well, a woman who is constantly curious and always trying to channel her creativity in different ways. I have so many ideas that live in my head, so I'm always looking for an outlet for those ideas. So I would say I am a wife, I am a mother, I am a creative, I am a radio and TV personality, I'm an actress, I am a book lover, I am a sister, I am a daughter, I am a friend, and a lover of life. That's what I would say.
If we were to go back to high school and you describe yourself in that way, and people will be like, oh, you're so multi-talented. So that means that you have a wide range of opportunities ahead. But one thing I'm really curious about as well is, how do you jungle all this and now channel it into being the mother that you are now, that you've mentioned into a mother? In simple terms, how is being a mother?
What is like being a mom?
Yes.
It's amazing. I think it has been the most exciting journey of my life thus far. As for juggling, I have a village. I have a fantastic village. It really does. When you have kids is when you realize it really does take a village to raise them. And I'm so grateful to my husband, who has always been supportive of all my endeavors as my number one supporter. I'm really grateful for him, because it means that, you know, we're together. You know what I mean? Because raising kids is not easy. And I'm grateful for my family as well, who are always there for me. My parents, my siblings. So, because my work means that I'll travel quite a bit. It means that I'll be away for long periods of time. So the juggling for me means that the time that I am there, the time that I am present, I have to be very present. I have to really make the time count. And I find a way to also just say no to some things that maybe take me away too far or too much. Someone said that it's a constant, how do you say, it's try to find our work-life balance. It's a constant thing. So some days it's gonna go like this, other days it's gonna go like this. So it's a constant seesaw. So what really helps me is that I have a village, and I will always prioritize my children no matter what.
You see, finding balance in life also comes with different stages as you evolve. So you have to know how to transition from one stage into the other.
Yeah.
And that will take me to our next question. What's one book, one movie, and one song that can perfectly sum up these different stages in your life?
Oh, wow. If it came to, it's hard to just narrow it down to one.
I know.
If it was a book, I would say 3 books. It would be She's Come Undone at some point. If You Want to Make God Laugh, and Becoming, because I feel I'm in the season of constant evolution, and I like that. If it was a song, Manzi wa Nairobi at some point, and then Hot Stepper at another point, and what's another song that would describe it? Keep Dancing. I think those would be the songs that would summarise.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now let me pick from the book and from the song, and you'll tell us why you'd specifically choose this. If You Want to Make God Laugh, and also why Manzi wa Nairobi.
If You Want to Make God Laugh, I think it's it's a testament to the fact that sometimes you can have the best laid plans and you're thinking, this is exactly how my journey is going to be. This is exactly the path I'm going to take. But no, there's some decisions that, you make thinking, oh, this is how it's going to turn out. This is the best thing for me. And sometimes you get disappointed or you pray for some things and they don't come to fruition.
True.
And you're like, oof, why? Until you realize that, oh, okay, there was actually a bigger, better path that was set out for you at a different time. So if you want to make God laugh is, um, you make the plans thinking that you're in control, and then you're just making God laugh because, he has other plans for you. So that's why I would say that. But as you get older, you'll just learn how to trust the process and, let it go. Do the best that you can, and then just let the rest go and trust that it's going to be okay.
Interesting. And I think I just got a recommendation for my March read. I'm going to add that to my list.
Please do. I think for Manzua Nairobi is because I feel like I'm a typical Manzua Nairobi. I think...
you know the streets well?
Yes. Maybe now not as much as when I was younger, but being born and raised in Nairobi and having that experience, I think it has shaped very much who I am. And, there was a time we were all thinking, oh, we need to go elsewhere because the grass is greener. It's never. Again, growing older makes me realize that I love my home, and there's so much there's so much value to derive from the home, and my home is here. And that's why my book club is called Nairobi Book Love, because, it just makes you realize how much, how much your home has given you and how much you can still give back to it. So yeah, that's what I would say. And plus Nairobi is fun, and I've had some good times. Yeah.
Now that you've mentioned Nairobi Book Club,
Yeah.
I'm really itching to get into it. But before we move into that, I read from the previous interview on our last December issue that you were interviewed.
Yeah.
And it is that you are a radio presenter.
Yes.
So how is it being on air?
I've been on air for 15 years. It was my first job. And it was kind of accidental because I was in uni. I was in my first year and someone said, oh, you talk a lot. Maybe, try and get paid for it. And I did a lot of auditions and I finally landed. My first job was at Homeboys Radio. And then I transitioned to Capital FM, which is where I still am. And it's been such an amazing path, really, because radio is a powerful, powerful medium. It reaches so many people. You have, the opportunity and the power to shape people's lives, with information and entertainment. And it's been one of my life's greatest journeys. I'm so glad that it's a path that I took. I didn't think I would be doing it as long as this, but recently I was interviewing Leonard Mambo Botella, the late, may he rest in peace. And at 80, he was still on air. And he's like, yeah, I still do it when I can. And I realized, that's the power of radio. It's the one medium that is so diverse, it's so versatile that you can do it whenever, however, and you can evolve with it. So it's been a fantastic journey, and I'm privileged to still be able to do it today.
Yeah. You see, radio is the blind medium.
Yes.
And now with the transition into digital and everything, and everyone just want to have their face out there.
Yeah.
What are some of the funniest moments that you've had? I'm thinking you're just on air and someone's just listening to you. So it takes a lot of conviction for you to convince your audience. I'm the listener. We say the listener, not the listeners.
Yes.
I remember that from school.
Yeah.
So what are some of the most funniest moments, the unexpected moments that you've experienced? The funniest ones and the least unexpected ones.
Wow, there have been so many. I think the interviews are the most, are the moments that you remember the most. Because, people are fascinating and people are unpredictable. And, they have such different personalities that sometimes you're thinking it's going like this and then it goes the other way. I've had some incredible interviews over the years. The ones that maybe stand out, Yvonne Chaka Chaka, loved her. She was, oh man, it was like just talking to this wise, wonderful, amazing human. Really enjoyed her interviews. Salif Keita as well. He's so soulful and amazing. I remember Beanie Man was one of my first interviews when I was younger. And I remember he just got to the studio and just put his feet up. And he was so relaxed. And I was like, I love the way that he just owns a space. And he's like, yeah, I'm here. What you gonna do? I mean, I've had some laugh out loud moments. I've had moments where, you shed a tear. God, there's so many. I'm trying to recall the ones that really stick out. There's so many. So many, but I think the interviews are the most incredible ones. I do remember my first child. I felt my baby kick for the first time when I was doing a link on air. And I like stopped because I was like, what just happened? You know, it's such a foreign concept. And it was such a beautiful emotional moment for me. And you know, the person listening doesn't know because also you don't want to share something
You
so
have to control
personal.
it.
But it was, I'll always remember that. Yeah. So radio is, the interviews are the most interesting, I would say. Yeah.
If you were to act out your personality, your radio personality, what would it be?
I think I'm the same. I think my personality is literally the same any and everywhere, whether it's corporate or whether it's radio. I mean, it's me, you know? I feel like whatever is happening is an extension of me. The same way we're having this conversation is the same way I'd be doing a radio link. Because I feel like it's important to have that authenticity, just so that people can feel and connect with the real you. So I feel it's the same. The only personality I think would be different would be my acting, because literally you are paid to be a different personality, you know. But in terms of radio and just who I am in real life, all my friends say it's just continuing the conversations that we have off air, on air. Yeah.
You mentioned you are a jack of all trades. Now, between radio and now acting, which one would you go for if you were to be given the choice, the freedom to choose between the two?
True freedom for me is never having to choose. That would be true freedom for me, to always pursue what makes me happy. Like I said, as a creative, you're always looking for different channels to, you know, channel, for lack of a better word, your creativity and all your ideas. And radio is one channel. Acting for me has been another channel, or another medium. And I hope I never get to choose, because they're both extensions of your personality. Because even if you are playing a different role, there's still pieces of you that come out, and there's still pieces of you that are going to be, you know, channeled into that. So I have used the word channel maybe 99 times, but I would say true freedom for me would be never having to choose. Yeah.
Now, let me make this as a side chat.
Okay.
But let me just ask. You see, with now there are influencers, and there are real journalists who've studied media. They know the media law and ethics and everything in between.
Yeah.
Do you think there's still that passion and the cause, because you've done journalism, we should now put you into radio? Let me put it in simple terms. Do you think there's still that passion when it comes to radio for those who are assigned? We have to bring celebrities for us to stay relevant. For instance, if I'm a media house and I'm trying to reach out to people out there, do we consider talent or the influence that someone has over the people?
I think that is an individual decision for each media station. For me, if you're on air, talent is very important. You have to be able to speak and engage. And it's not just, because the thing about radio is it's not just about, you know, just sitting and having a conversation. You know, you do a lot of prep for your shows. You have to think about what it is you're going to say, how you're going to engage your audience, and you also typically have to run the controls, you know, so there's a lot of multitasking as well. You have to, and music is a science, and a lot of people don't realize that music is a science. So the kind of music that goes with whatever it is that you're talking about, the research that goes into understanding your audience and what it is that they, you know, resonate with, it's a whole thing, which is why radio is a $1 billion industry. So what I would say is, I think anybody on air owes it to themselves and owes it to their audience to A, do the research, B, do their best to study their craft and improve on their craft, whether it means going to school for it or whether it means learning on the job. Like, for example, myself, my undergrad is in PR. But then again, because it's a communications degree, we took a lot of electronic media courses, you know. But my true training, honestly, was on the job, especially for my first job. That was the true training about what it means to know your audience, segment your audience, the science of music, how to select that music, the pitch and the tone that you should have. It's a whole thing. And over the years, you know, you keep getting retrained and you keep getting refresher courses because, you know, learning is a lifelong pursuit, isn't it?
Yeah,
So I would say whoever is on air, that's what they need to do. They just need to put in the work, do the research, figure out their audience and resonate with that audience, and always, always study to be better at their craft.
And let's just have that mastery and flexibility.
Correct.
Right. So what's a role you've played or that you would love to play that resonates deeply with the strength and resilience of women?
Of women. Well, because I've only played women. All my roles, I believe, have resonated and show the strength and resilience of women. My first TV role was on Joroba, and I play a detective. A DCI, yeah, it's a detective in essence. And she's a very driven, very ambitious, very loving woman. But at the same time, she's also flawed because, she makes some very questionable decisions sometimes, maybe due to vanity, maybe due to insecurity. So playing that has been fantastic because over the years, she's gone through so much. She's gone through postpartum depression. She's had an affair and then, suffered the consequences for it. She's been in love. She's fallen out of love. She's fostered other children. It's been a whole roller coaster for her in her life, which is typical. And I think the reason people love the show is because they can resonate with all the things that the character is going through. Another role I played a radio presenter as well. Quite different. This one, she's vain. She's also ambitious and driven, but to a fault, to the point where she will step on anybody she needs to step on to get ahead. But then also, as you unravel her character, you realize also she's deeply insecure. She has a lot of love to give, but there's something that happened in her past that makes her so deeply insecure. And she's trying to work on herself, to be better, but it doesn't always come out the same. So I've played a stay-at-home mom as well. I've played a protective older sister. So all these roles typically show the different facets of anyone, not just women, of anyone. Everything that we're going through, I think, is channeled, and the writers are careful and are intentional with actually ensuring that we can see ourselves reflected in this character, in their journey, in their decisions. There are days you'll laugh at them, the days you laugh with them, the days you'll applaud them, the days you're like, oh, why did you do that? And I think so long as you are evoking that kind of emotion in your audience, I think that is the key to successful acting. You want to resonate and you want to evoke. That would be it. Yeah. A role I'd want to play, I want to be in an action movie. That's what I want to do. Yeah. Yeah.
You want to see yourself in the action?
Yes. If they ever remade Woman King, they need to call me. I would need to do a lot of work, but it's fine. Yeah, I'd definitely like to do something like that, just to stretch myself.
Oh, speaking of Woman King, let me know, who's this one woman you're looking up to that when they act, you just see them, you feel them, and at some point you just feel like, oh, I love this woman. Because at some point we also have to have someone we're looking up to. So who's this one woman you really love in the industry of acting?
Of acting? Ooh. Wow, there are many. I'm trying to remember a role that there's a movie, I forget the name. It's Julia Roberts and Chiwetel Ejiofor. And she's a cop as well. And they're called to a crime scene. And unfortunately, it's her child who's been murdered. And that entire scene and how it's acted to me was such a masterclass in nuance. Because it's her partner realizing, played by Chiwetel, that, oh my God, the body we have is of this woman's daughter. And the warring emotions on his face. And then him looking at her, he doesn't have to say anything. And her realizing something is wrong. Just the way the emotions on the face. And her running and her reaction. Oh, that scene was something. I think I love the nuance in it. The fact that you don't have to be so overly, you don't have to do much. It's just a subtle kind of, emotion. And it's a real mastery to be able to display that. And I forget the name of the movie, but it's Julia Roberts and Chiwetel Ejiofor. That one scene. The rest of the movie sometimes drags, but that one scene, absolutely. Recently, I watched Tomboya, the play, and it was incredible. I think it's 2.5 hours. It's long, almost 3 hours long. But everything about that play it it made me so proud to be Kenyan and so proud to be an artist in our space.
Mhm.
They did it so brilliantly because it's mixed media. It's narration. It's a little bit theatrical at some point. They play some films as well. There's music. It was a masterpiece. The team that put it together, they did a phenomenal job. And in fact, so much so that I would see whatever it is that they do next. I mean, I would absolutely watch it. But to know that these are our artists, our Kenyan artists, and they're able to put together something so incredible, and you sit there in the audience and you're so moved, absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, personally, I'd also give them the credits, considering what I've been seeing and making comparison to what we've been watching in the past.
Yeah.
It's a big difference, and
Yeah.
it's a big step that we are making, and I
Yeah.
would also love to see more of that.
Yeah.
So I'd like us now to transition a little bit, and thank you for that take through. It's really beautiful to listen to that and to just hear that.
Yeah.
Now let's transition to you starting a book club.
Okay.
Tell us about your book club and what was the motivation behind that?
Right. So my book club is called Nairobi Book Love. So back in, I think, 2019, I sat back and it had been a very busy couple of years. I'd started a new job. I'd got married. I'd had my first child. And so I think after like 2-3 years, I'm finally coming up for air because there's so much that's been happening. And I'm like, whew, I realize I barely read the way I used to. And I love to read. I've always loved to read. And so I said, okay, now I have to be intentional with actually going to pick out the books and, and get back to that reading culture that I've always enjoyed. And so I realized, okay, I love to read, but I also love to socialize. So why not start a book club? So I went to Instagram and I searched Nairobi Book Club. That was taken. So I was like, ooh, what else do I say? So I thought, oh, Nairobi Book Club, because I'm a book lover. Okay, sure. And I put out a call and I was like, hey, anybody interested who wants to come and read? And I got a lot of responses, and a lot of those members are still part of the book club today. So starting this was basically me trying to get back to active reading and enjoying the books and the community and the communion around books. That was the main thing. So this is 2019, so it's been almost, 6 years? It's been 6 years, and it's been an incredible journey throughout.
What do you talk about in your book clubs other than just reading?
Okay.
What are some of the conversations that you hold?
Oh, we've had some conversations because the thing about it, when you're discussing a book, you're also looking at it from your context, right? You're looking at it in terms of how would you react in certain situations? What kind of decisions would you make in those same situations? Did you think that the author, was masterful in how they wrote out the book? There's so much to discuss. But I think the best part of book club is that sometimes it's like a therapy session because we see ourselves reflected in these characters and we see ourselves reflected in these experiences. And, you tend to relate to what's going on in your own life. And the discussions are amazing and they've been so wholesome. And today is actually a book club. It's the first Saturday of March. So it's book club Saturday for us, which is where I'm going right after. So it's something that I look forward to every month. I enjoy it very much.
So for someone who's watching and wondering, is there any eligibility of joining for someone to join your book club? Is it gender specific? Is there any limit of members who should be joining? Tell us about that as well.
Gender specific, no. It's everybody. Whoever wants to come, whoever loves a book and wants to come and discuss a book. I think right now we're about 30. We didn't want it to get too big. Because also you still want that kind of intimacy that comes with the connections and the discussions. So I would say maybe space for a little bit more, because of course not all 30 will come at the same time.
True.
Maybe space for a little bit more, but we still want to keep it intimate. Yeah. And over the years, I mean, we've really come to bond and get to know each other. So we've created a very safe space for everybody. So you're also careful to make sure the space stays safe for everyone who's in it. Yeah.
So for the attendance, is it determined by the genre of book that you choose to read, so that those who are not aligned with that choose not to attend for that particular Saturday?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on, you could be busy because, we all have different things. You could be at a wedding or something's happening or you're unwell. Or it could be a month where you were so busy you didn't read the book. But what we've come to realize is even the people who don't read the book will still come because they'll still enjoy the discussions and you'll still follow along with the discussion. So it's very chill. It's come as you are, come and enjoy. So long as you are fun and respectful, we're going to have a good time.
So is there any fees Any
To join the book club?
registration fee to
No. We're not like a
totally free?
society. It's absolutely free. It's absolutely free. The only thing is that we tend to meet outside because in addition to reading the book, we like to discover our city. That's why it's called Nairobi Book Love. So typically we'll pick a new restaurant and try it out, and so it's an exploration of not just the book but of the space. So we kind of like that. And as a book club as well, beyond just the reading books, we do a lot more. Typically as a book club, we wouldn't just read the books. We like to do excursions as well. And every so often we want to, go out and do fun things, ride a bike, go for a hike. We've picked tea, we've made cheese. We like to explore and do things together. Like I've said, over the years, we've bonded, so much so that, we've become a nice community, and we, want to explore what else we can do outside the books. And we also do networking activities as well, just for within the book club, just to get to know each other better, because we have such different members, and we give them a chance to just showcase what it is that they do, and we get to learn from them, and it's been amazing. So I like the fact that we've grown from just a book club into a really vibrant social community that also explores other things. Yeah,
I just love the fact that you have fun-filled activities, so that it just breaks down that monotony of just sitting, reading, going back home.
Yeah,
that's a kudos. So what I wanted to do you also invite authors?
We do. Like our book of the month this month, we were supposed to meet the author today. Unfortunately, she's very busy, but we should meet her hopefully within the month or next month. We have met several authors. Actually, our very first book of the month was a Kenyan book, and the very first book club meeting, when we were all meeting for the first time, and we met the author of that book. His name is Peter Kimani. He wrote The Dance of the Jacaranda, and we had such an amazing discussion. So yes, we have met authors over the years, as much as we can, because we don't only just choose Kenyan books. Sometimes we choose, we read from across the world. I know there's some book clubs that are specifically Kenyan, others are specifically African. For us, it's as diverse as possible. We want to explore the world as well through our books. So yes, we do meet authors as much as we can.
Amazing. So if you could have dinner with 3 legendary female authors, dead or alive, who would they be, and what's the first question you'd ask them?
Wangari Maathai. I know she's not typically known as an author, but she did write 3 books. And as a Kenyan woman, first of all, she's fascinating, an absolute icon. And as a Kenyan woman, I feel like our lives have so many parallels. So we would understand each other, and she's someone that I deeply admire, especially as I get older and you realize just how much she went through and how much adversity she faced to achieve whatever it is that she achieved. I would just love to sit there and just pick her brain. First question I'd ask her is like, how did you do it? How did you do all of this? That's what I would ask her. Margaret Atwood, because I love how twisted her brain is. When you read her books, she is twisted, and I love it. And I think I'd want to know her inspiration for everything, especially Handmaid's Tale. I'd really want to know, what were you thinking about? Buchi Amecheta. I think, she passed on, I think, in 2017. Buchi was such a quintessentially African writer. We did The Joys of Motherhood at some point for book club, and reading that book, which was, I think, written in the late 70s. And again, even her, I'd be like, girl, what did you go through? What was the inspiration for this? So if I could have dinner with any of them, that would be great. There are many more, obviously, but you just asked me 3. There are many more. And I've also been privileged to meet some of the authors that I love and have a conversation with them. So yeah.
What's your 2025 book target?
Book target. My target is usually a book a week, so about 52. Some weeks I won't even touch a book. Other weeks I'll read a chapter. Other weeks I'll read 3 books. So, but typically for myself, I give myself a book a week, so 52. But the thing about books is, because I read for entertainment, I read for information, but also I just read for joy. So if at that moment my joy is being sparked by something else, it's okay. It's all right. Read at your pace. Listen to the book if you have to. But I always find my life is so much richer when I'm reading more. And just, my worlds are just opened up in a beautiful way.
If you're not reading, what will I find you doing?
Sleeping.
Mm.
Yeah. Um, my time is carved, is carved tight. I have my
Mm-hmm.
family, and then I have my jobs, plural, and then I have my leisure. So for me, if I'm reading either when I'm waiting for something in transit, when I first wake up, or in the evenings, unless I want to do a review, and then I'm going to carve out time to actually read the book at specific times. So if I'm not reading, because reading will come number like four in the tier of the things that have to be done. I'm hanging out with my friends, I'm watching a movie, or likely I'm taking a nap.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Huh. So, what's one book you believe every woman should read at least once in their lifetime?
Wow, that's a really difficult question to answer. And I say that because
Mhm.
we're so different as women. We're so different.
I agree.
And at different ages and at different stages of your life, you're going through so many different things. So I can only say the books that I felt, they stood out for me, and I was like, okay, as a woman. I think as a parent, my sister gave me this book for my first baby shower. It was The Conscious Parent. Shefali Sabari, I believe that is her name. And it was a game changer for me in terms of what I had viewed parenting to be, because I wasn't a parent before. And just the call to be very conscious and not parent with your ego, and not make your kids live vicariously through you. And, just because it's such a privilege to shepherd these humans through life.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to do that consciously. And I think that book is something I would reread over and over again. I love it. Let me see. I love Oprah Winfrey's, and this was a gift from a friend. What I Know for Sure, the first edition, and it's kind of like a collection of all the lessons that she's had over the years, and it's divided into different categories, whether it's joy or grief or success, or all sorts of different categories. But I love how concise
Mm-hmm.
the advice is, and I love that she relates it to so many different experiences. I really enjoyed that book. Again, that is something I would go back to and reread and feel. It kind of, how you read a book and you're like,
I know.
you just have a warm sigh. That book definitely gave me a warm sigh. For grief, I read Chimamanda's Notes on Grief, and another short story she's written rather, called Zikora. And Zikora is about the childbirth experience. And reading that, I think she found a way to put into words what I was feeling but didn't have the language for.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that when an author can do that with words. And Notes on Grief, the same thing. I've been lucky that I haven't lost too many close people in my life, but the ones that I have I felt that so deeply. And that book, again, put into words what I didn't know, what I didn't have the language for. So I would say books are a very personal journey, depending on what it is that you're going through. But for me, those are some of the ones that I feel have really resonated at different stages of my life.
March is coming. It's here with us,
Mm.
and it's known for women's celebration.
Yes.
And this year's theme is accelerating action towards gender equality. So, as someone in the media entertainment or industry, what do you think needs to change when it comes to women?
Wow. A lot. I think as a society, and especially an African society, we've always protected the vulnerable in our society. We've always protected, and I feel like this is changing, and that would be the scariest thing. We protected women, we protected children, we protected the elderly, we protected anybody who needed a helping hand. We were always there for each other. It was truly a village. But I think in this new age, we're kind of just forgetting those values. We're forgetting what it means to be African. And I know that sounds very grandiose, but I think that is what's happening right now, because especially in this era of femicide, and when you look at the comments to the stories, and people, instead of the empathy and instead of a call to to be better and hold people accountable and protect those that we love, it's, oh, she must have deserved it, or, oh, you're making too much of a fuss, oh, everybody dies. And I find that rhetoric so sad and so painful, because when did we become the people who do not protect each other? When did we become the ones who are so quick to have vitriol and hatred instead of all the love that we grew up with? And I think what needs to change is to go back to our roots, go back to our values, go back to our foundation as humans, and as Africans, and just protect each other. Because I even remember the other day when there's been such an increase in the homicide rate. Beyond the femicide, there's also an increase. So many kids, so many children. The murders going up, and it breaks your heart because again, when did we stop protecting? Back in the day, you see someone hurting a child, everybody will rally against it. Are we turning a blind eye? Like, what's going on? I think what needs to change is just a reset of our morality and to go back to the values that we had. And the internet age, unfortunately, has now made people very brave in terms of spilling so much vitriol. And it's unnecessary. It's very easy to do that behind a keyboard, isn't it? It's very easy
No.
to just to spew so much ignorance and so much hatred when it's not a face-to-face kind of conversation. So I think we all need to check ourselves and we need to check each other and go back to our values. That's what needs to change. Yeah.
What I'm getting from there is that we just have to redefine ourselves as well. Go back to the drawing board. Where did the rain start beating us?
Yep.
But I don't want to sitaki kuharibu ulichosema. You've just added brought it out so well. So let me take you a little back to your reading group, your book club as well. You interact with different women, and I'm assuming that in your small community you also have different conversations, especially what different women are facing, and maybe you have those conversations. So what are some of the things that still crop up and you feel like this is one of the greatest challenges that women are facing with, either at home, at work, or just in their surroundings?
I think it would be the same thing, that lack of protection, the fear that you live with as a woman constantly. 90% of your attackers are known to you. These are people around you. They're in your space. And some of them are those who are charged and tasked with protecting you, but they do not. And we talk about it a lot, how typically that as a woman, when you're leaving the house, you plot your journey, thinking about so many things, what you're going to wear, the route you're going to use, what time you'll be coming back home, who you'll meet on the way. If anything should go wrong, like what's your backup plan? Like we don't just leave the house and get out and go. You really have to think through everything. That's something typically that a man doesn't have to, So when we have these discussions, we're like, why is it that we still have to do that? Why is it that you can depending on the parts of town you're going to be in, you will know how you're going to get dressed. You will know the routes to avoid. You'll know some certain streets that not today, not when I'm by myself, not after 4 o'clock, Those are some of the things we talk about. We talk about we talk about black tax a lot as well, which is a thing, not just for women as well, for men. But from a woman's perspective, there's also that added emotional labor of raising the family. And, we are the natural caregivers most of the time, in addition to all the things that you have to do. So there's things that women are typically facing. And then now in this modern society, there's a lot of divorce that's going on. There's a lot of infertility that's going on as well. There's a lot of, now I think the advantage is we're having these conversations. People never used to talk about infertility. They never used to talk about menopause. They never used to talk about the struggles you go within your relationships. We didn't have those spaces to discuss it. It was always very hush-hush. But now, you're able to put it on the table. You're able to give it words. I think the freedom that we enjoy as women vis-a-vis 2 generations ago, like, we are our ancestors' wildest dreams. In fact, we could very well be our grandmother's wildest dreams. You know what I mean?
I know.
Because every generation brings with it new freedom. So typically, those are some of the issues. But the advantage being that we are more empowered and are able to tackle these issues and find solutions for them. Yeah.
If you were to conduct a radio campaign aimed at empowering women, what would be your tagline?
The tagline. Aimed at empowering women. Empowerment comes in different ways. You're empowered if you are able to make a living, isn't it? You are empowered because you're able to go to school and get an education. You are empowered because you live in a society that gives you the freedom to do what it is that you want. So empowerment is very different, and it looks different for different people. So I would say just look within yourself, and oh wow, it's hard to put it because you're speaking to so many different women. If I'm speaking to a community where you walk 10 kilometers to go to the nearest school, you know, a community where maybe girls are still being circumcised and being told at 13, get out of school, get married, have children. Or you're talking to a community whereby, you know, the women are more educated and are more financially empowered, and, you know, you just want them to strive for more. That would be, it's really hard to put it in just in one tagline, because you're speaking to so many different shades of women across the country. Um, I would say stay resilient. That's what I would say. Stay resilient. Whatever happens, stay resilient. Because it's very easy to say you can do it, but what if you can't? What if where you are, you don't have the tools to do it, you know? That would be like a slap in the face for somebody, whereas rather you can say you can do it to someone, you're like, that's all you needed. You just needed a shove to hear that you can do it. So my tagline would be stay resilient as much as possible however you can.
Amazing, amazing. So who's one woman, either in your personal life or just a public figure, who you think has shaped your life, and how?
My mother. Without a doubt, I would say my mom. It sounds like a very typical answer, eh? But I would say my mom because she's a very forceful and very resilient woman, who is very passionate as well. And I love that she will live her life unapologetically. She will stand by her decisions, and she will love fiercely. And to me, those are beautiful tenets to live by. Yeah.
Gorgeous, amazing. And we are almost wrapping up. Don't worry. So we are now moving to the feel good wrap up, and I'm gonna read
Feel good wrap up.
Yes. If your life was a book, what would the title be, and who would you narrate the audiobook?
Okay.
Who will narrate the audiobook?
The title of my book would be She Came, She Saw, She Made a Difference, and She Continues to Conquer. That's what it would be. Who would narrate it? Two parts. I would have two narrators. One would be Richard Attenborough, because I mean his voice. And the other one would be Lorna Diaz. Lorna Diaz is the one who narrated Makers of a Nation. I love her voice. I love it. So if they would have me, there would be the narrators of my audiobook.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What's one piece of advice you'd give to women who are still trying to find their voice, whether in media, books, or just life in general?
Okay. I would say stay authentic. Always just be true to yourself. You know, sometimes you're like, am I enough? Yes, you are. You are absolutely enough. Stay authentic. Learn your craft. Really important. Always keep learning. Stay curious, you know, because when you think you know everything, that is the beginning of the end. So yes, be authentic. Always keep learning your craft, upskilling whenever you can, and stay curious. And the rest will just fall in place.
Imagine is Kui Kabala's Women's Book Club, Gala Night. What's the theme, and which 3 guests are on your VIP list?
Ooh, it's the Nairobi Book Club Gala Night. The theme would be conscious, creative, and curious. I do like alliteration. I do like alliteration. My VIP guests, are we talking about like right now?
It's
around
gonna be
this
right
time?
now, around this time, anytime.
Okay. Who are my VIP guests? All my friends. Number one. My soft life sisters. And my family. They're definitely my VIPs. Chimamanda, because Dream Count is coming out.
Ooh, I know.
So yeah. Who else? Who else? Who else? Tommy Adeyemi and the entire cast of Children of Blood and Bone. Like, she just brings all of them. That would be great.
And they got a movie coming for us.
Exactly. So the
Ooh.
entire cast, awalete. I'm good.
I'm grateful for having this chat. But before we finish, I guess this will be like your parting shot.
Yeah.
You can tell our audience, what do you think about women in generally? What do you want to tell them about finding a community, being authentic, just anything within the line that you've just talked about, and this upcoming Women's Day? And what's one gift that you would gift a woman, someone you're looking up to, either your mother, a sister, just to celebrate them? So you can just look into the camera, tell us something about women, finding community. What advice are you giving are you giving them, and how can they celebrate it rather than just watching and just doing the action too?
Well, before I look at the camera, you asked me what's a gift I would give a woman.
Yes.
It depends on the woman and it depends on what they're going through. And my husband always says this: you don't gift something you think would be a good gift. You have to give something you know the other person will appreciate, you know? Just because I like books doesn't mean I'll give books to everybody, you know?
True.
So a good gift would be something that meets you in your time of need. It could be as simple as a book. It could be as simple as a mini vacation. It could be a spa treat. It could be a mentoring session. Or it could just be dinner where we sit and we have a conversation, you know? So I would say a good gift would be meeting the person you're gifting in their place of need, putting yourself in their shoes and saying, what does this person need at this moment? And wherever you can, meet that need. That would be my idea of a gift. Yeah.
Is it like loving the person how they want you to love them rather
Yes.
than loving them how
Yes.
you think they should love?
Yes, and that's exactly what my husband says. Love me the way I want to be loved, you know?
I think.
And it's a good thing to always remember, because yes, you remove your ego and you put yourself in this person's shoes and you're like, okay, what do they like and what do they enjoy? Even if I don't enjoy it or I don't understand why they like what they like, I'll be happy to give it to you because it's about you. Hi, my name is Kui Kabala and I want to wish you a fantastic International Women's Day, because women are amazing. We are awesome. We are God's gift to this earth. And I want you to remember that God does not make mistakes. And this Women's Day, celebrate yourself and celebrate the amazing women around you. And remember to always be authentic. Keep trying to better yourself however you can. And also be gracious and kind to yourself. As we are always walking the journey, we're told, you know, do better, be better. So long as you know you are doing your very best, that is enough. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.